Okay, we're in Calgary, Alberta, Canada here at Popeyes. I'm just down from the street soup kitchen here. I met one young fellow. We've been talking about John 5. Okay, John 7:17 is kind of interesting topic here too. John 7:17. Okay, we'll get over here. Okay. Okay. If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine. That's not the teaching, whether it be of God, that be true, or whether I speak of myself. Like step out in faith, trusting the God that believes us. He's able to lead, guide, and direct us. He's able to correct us. His arm is not so short. But what are people teaching? Oh, that we got to follow others. No, we're not. Okay. And here's my friend. Okay, that I just met.
How's it going?
Okay. And maybe a little YouTube on my part here. Okay, this is the Toothless Wonder. Yeah, a senior here. Get this out of the way. Not doing this real good. I don't know. I should slip that around the other way maybe. Learn how to do it this way. That's good. The Toothless Wonder. You can call me that. Okay. I'm only here. Try this. Okay. My wife gives me static about that. She looks like half my age. You know, one little white hair and got to color it right away. I'm only half blind. I'm only half deaf. I can't walk too well. But now I can read and I can learn. What are we doing? What are we following? Okay? I want to do some more YouTube like this. I just remembered now. I want to do some YouTube today. And I want to post this more often. And there's all kinds of things to learn. And it stopped raining outside right now. And so maybe, and the volcano, we were looking that up. Yeah, learn about the volcanoes. I think there's one going off in Mexico again now. South of Mexico City, 70 kilometers or 70 miles, I'm not sure. Why do you think it was so dry up north? There's things to learn. All kinds of things. And maybe my friend will help me with doing some videos. Okay, you want to do that for me? Yeah. My wife the other day, the battery dies and I thought I lost the whole thing, a whole hour recording. Okay? I should do this more often. I was going to do a little bit more about this coming Pentecost situation. The Omar, they call it. The counting of the days toward Pentecost. And here's something I'll tell my friend here while we're discussing things. How come Pentecost, when the Asencion happened, I believe that's 144,000. Mm-hmm. We looked at it a little bit. That's in Matthew 27, 52 and 53. Why 50 days later? Where was Daniel buried? We're told he's buried in Babylon. How far away is that? How far can you walk in a day? 20 miles? 30 kilometers? Guess what? I believe Daniel walked all the way from Babylon to Jerusalem. He was part of the ascending of many. Oh, is that little rock your little bubble?
I can walk pretty far.
Hey, he could even take what they call a Sabbath, weekly Sabbath day off every week. The Passover is referred to as a high annual Sabbath. People pat themselves on the back about a particular day, seventh Saturday. Hey, it's debatable. But are they really Sabbath keepers when they don't want to learn about the annual Sabbaths? Hey, people call them legalistic. Most of them are. And most of them are very much into something else here we can study and learn a little bit while I'm talking to, what's your name?
Perry.
Carrie.
Pete, Perry.
Pete. What is it?
Yeah, Perry, Pete.
See, it says after 2 days is the feast of the Passover. See, you can read that. After 2 days of the Feast of Passover, okay, 2 days. He said that something about that Lazarus. Why did he wait 2 more days and resurrect Lazarus on the 4th day? He is the resurrection and the life. Okay? He put that right into their Orthodox eyes. Most, we've been taught this Canaanite type thinking that we don't really die. Then why do we need resurrected? They don't want to deal with it. But Matthew 24, a lot of people like to refer to this because of iniquity. That's King James. The other versions use lawlessness. Like, that's the laws of the land? Like, right, no. Iniquity. See, most of us don't know what that means.
I know.
Well, look up a dictionary like in school.
I just asked the girlfriend.
It's transgressing, knowingly transgressing his written word.
Yeah.
Different if you don't know.
That's what me and Buddy were talking about.
And the love of many shall wax cold.
So Buddy was telling, the guy was talking about the mustard seed, and I was thinking on the way down there, I was like, God, Jesus and God didn't write this book, but he said it was written by God through men, the word of man. And I was just thinking, I have a story to tell you, and I was like, part of my story will be told by me. And I was like, it made a lot of sense.
Okay. See, what I'm covering here is wax cold. I'm going to ask you, how does a wax on a candle turn cold?
Turn what?
The wax on the candle.
Yeah.
As the light is burning, the wax is running down the candle stem, right? How does the wax turn cold?
Because it's not near the heat anymore.
Oh, very good.
Quite simple.
Or if the light has gone out. So who's he talking to here? He's talking to those that say they believe, not the general population.
Yeah.
You don't believe this book? That's another whole issue.
I figured it was a contradiction.
People say they believe this book,
they don't know nothing about it.
But you know what's one of the 10 commandments? What's the last commandment?
I don't know.
Thou shalt not covet. They pat themselves about the 4th commandment, and I believe we talked about that a little bit. The Catholic Catechism actually changed the order and the structure. Okay? The 4th commandment is the Sabbath. People pat themselves about a particular day. They changed it. But you know what they forgot? The 10 commandments. It's covetousness. And the love waxes cold.
That contradicts.
This is talking about love, true love.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Like, should be on fire.
Yeah.
Not lukewarm. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay? So now we go to a common verse they like to read. When you therefore shall see the abomination and desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Well, that, what are they teaching? Some so-called future third heaven?
Yeah.
Third temple? Whoso readeth, let him understand. See, most people think these religious places we go to are holy.
I don't.
Good for you. Yeah, thank you.
I think the opposite.
Yeah, there you go.
I was dead.
Hey.
I got my own opinion.
And we were looking at Daniel, and that's why I'm covering this a little bit.
Yeah.
It's there. Daniel talked about a system that changed Daniel 7, the times and laws. Well, the end of Daniel, we can go to it. Oh, there it is. That's convenient. I was actually studying this last night. Yeah, middle of the night, like seniors, we get up and can't get to sleep, so I just want to do some studying. I'm doing some fasting, and it mentions here the abomination. Where is it? 11. And the abomination. Remember, Matthew says abomination, desolation. Set up. Therefore, be what? 1,290 days. So I wrote down 1,290. From when? Well, it talks about when the third temple was destroyed. desolate. Daily sacrifice shall be taken away. That's when 70 AD, when the temple was destroyed. So do the math. Okay, 70, you got 1220 left. What happened in 1220 AD? I wasn't sure. I looked it up on Google. Oh, gee, we had the different things happen, sure. But they actually came up with the Julian calendar. Well, if you go back in Daniel 7, it talks about a system that changed the times and laws. What's he talking about? Okay? Oh, here's an interesting one out of Daniel 9. Here, it says Messiah in verse 26. But they want to read the very next verse as if it's something in the future, and something that it suddenly appears cuts the middle of the week. The sacrifice is ended. What's he talking about? Hey, that already happened. 7 days in a week, 4,000 years after Adam, he was cut off in the middle of the week. It's there. That already happened. It's in context with the same chapter. But they want to read this. They want to read this here verse separately.
That's what I always said, man. It's like I never really read the Bible, but I knew it contradicted everything.
Hey, you can make, people say this all the time, you can make it say anything you want it to say. Yeah. Why? Yeah. By taking things out of context. Yeah. Okay? Here we are. Here we are today. In a courtroom. It's by the mouth of 2 or 3 eyewitnesses. Not opinions, not hearsay. You know? Here we are dressed this way. Okay? This way. Well, I saw these 2 fellas, or one of them, robbing the bank down the street here. Well, wait a minute. If there's other people here saying, no, we saw the guy sitting here. Is it going to hold up in court?
Yeah.
They have to determine
reasonable doubt.
And you're innocent beyond reasonable doubt. But what do? They pluck a verse out of total context and build a whole doctrine around it. Isaiah says precept upon precept and line upon line. Precept upon precept is also a little different than line upon line, the actual text. It says what? It's appointed unto man once to die. But how many of us heard statements say, of course, Lazarus died a second time? Where do you find that? It's not there. It's not in the scriptures. Human reasoning, psychology says, he must have died again. Really? Precept says it's only appointed unto man once to die. In Revelation 20, the second death, not much thought about that, is warned about. Okay? And what are they doing? My preacher, I confronted him. They're promising teenagers, we're talking a little bit about baptism, get rebaptized. How many times did Peter get dunked? On and on and on. It wasn't a bird that came on Jesus, it was the power of God. Okay? Yeah, I need to do this. We got 13 minutes, 14 minutes now. I want to do maybe at least 20 minutes every day. Okay? And we just discuss things. Okay? And I'll put it on YouTube. The guy is teaching in Hamilton, Ontario. I've learned different things from him. We learned from different people. Joseph was 77 when he married Leah. Okay, Israel is this month 77. I learned that from him. But then he goes and turns around, and this is being all the way from last fall, during Hanukkah, during Purim, during Passover, the Rapture is going to happen. And he's now promoting, counting the weeks of the Omar, and Koyani and ministry, trying to, Chuck Messler promoted this too. I don't think he's around anymore like a lot of us. Waiting for the resurrection himself now. Okay, he maybe will be resurrected sooner than some of us. Okay, that's another whole issue. But no, these things happened. Matthew 27 happened. The resurrection of many happened. Okay, we can read it. I have only half my eyesight. I passed my eye test actually in the morning, but I can still read some. And the graves were open, and many bodies of saints which slept arose. Well, that's kind of strange. Yeah, well, the Roman centurion mentioned here, he thought that was strange too, and came out of the graves. Here's what some people teach. They had graves above ground, okay? So because of the earthquake, people rolled out of the graves, and we have this movie stuff, zombies of the dead running around.
They left out some
They rolled out of the graves and rolled into the city. Excuse me, the graves are down the hill, not up the hill. I'm like, what are they trying to teach you? One guy, I covered this on YouTube, from Utah. Hey, maybe they do have but they're trying to convince the Mormons to get out of the boat too. The ark is sinking, on and on and on. Anyway, after his resurrection, read it, after his resurrection. This is on the Passover called First Fruits. No, not part of the day and part of the night, which my friend was never really into it. How many people are into this idea because somebody taught us that? What does his written word say? Okay, we can go on and on. It took me ages to come to this, some myself. I had to go back to some of the things my grandmothers, which lived together, taught. On and on. I believe that's Revelation 14. You want to talk to Jehovah's Witnesses? Oh boy, they really don't know what to do with this. Their first members are now part of the 144,000. They pass the juice around. They don't take it. Do you know that? Why? They call him a memorial because before he was resurrected, they were in grief, agony. But he resurrected. Let's celebrate this, okay? But Revelation 14, the 144,000, and hey, Seventh-day Adventists like this idea of the three angels message. Well, as far as I'm concerned, this resurrection is part of it. And verse 4, where are we here on my phone here? Okay, 14, verse 4. Get my phone down here. First fruits. These were redeemed among men, being the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb. Okay? And there found no guile, an angel flying in the midst of heaven. See, they talk about the three angels' message, but this is part in the same chapter. Okay? And some think, oh, that is some sort of future situation where young people are going to be virgins again. They were not defiled with women. Yet we're told we're supposed to be fruitful and multiply. Is he contradicting himself? No. When we're resurrected, we'll be youthful again. See, we're not dealing with this. We thought, but when we're resurrected, we'll be immortal. We're not immortal now. We'll be new. See? So what are we listening to? I believe this is Canaanite teaching. That's the end of Zechariah 14:21.
Yeah, because he's not going to give you the answers. You got to figure it out yourself.
You gotta dig. Gotta dig. The diamonds are not laying on the surface. My friend has gold detection equipment. He doesn't want to rent it to me. I'm kind of annoyed at that. Okay, but here we go. Canaanite. What happened? Cain and Abel. Okay. And this is Canaanite. Yeah, in the Hebrew text. Don't translate it into something else so-called more modern. A trader and merchant. It's talking about the doctrines and traditions of the Canaanite. This is all with here, Feast of Tabernacles. This is all happening. Fresh living waters already happening in Israel. Okay? Like, wake up. Okay? And there we got 20 minutes. Okay? There's my time for maybe today. I'll do this and get my wife and see if she knows how to post this later on. I don't know. Do you know how to post this?
No, I'm trying to.
Okay, well, we need to learn this. Okay?
My girl's so good at shit.
Oh, gee. Okay, I'm going to